Hey everyone, so we are going to be trying to get through day 3 and day 4 of notes. We'll see how much you guys are able to finish in class, but my hope is that I can kind of show you guys both of these today. So what I want you guys to go ahead and do right now is pause the video, try the 4 warm-up problems, and then when you press play, you're going to see the answers appear in a second, and then you can kind of pause it again and take some time to go over them. Okay, so here are the answers to the 4 warm-up problems, guys. If you want to go ahead and pause the screen again, that way you can kind of stop and check them against your answer. Now would be a good time to do that. All right, so hopefully you've checked the warm-up problem. So now we're going to be moving on to our notes. So we are going to be solving some multi-step inequalities, but also practicing kind of just writing them given a word problem. So there's some key words that we want to keep in mind. So I'm going to let you pause, kind of read over those, familiarize yourself with what they kind of represent and what they mean. That way you're just kind of able to recognize them when we go through some problems. So looking at the first one, we're just writing inequalities here. There's no solving that's going on. So it says you must spend at least $20 to get a nice shirt at a store. Write an inequality that shows how much money you are able to spend. So at least if you look up at your keywords, that correlates or matches with greater than or equal to. So we'll always use any variable. You guys know I like to use x. So x is greater than or equal to $20. At least meant greater than or equal to, so once you recognize that, you can put that symbol in there. Looking at number 2, it says you have no more than 3 pieces of Halloween candy in a day. So we want to write an inequality for that. Well, no more than means less than or equal to if you look back up at our keywords. And these aren't keywords that I expect you to have memorized right now, but they are ones that you should start to recognize. So again, our variable, x, no more than means less than or equal to 3, because it's 3 pieces of Halloween candy. In number 3, it says Johnny needs to score better than a 90% on his next test to earn a B in the class. If you go up and you look, there's no better than, but better than is very similar to more than. So that means it is just a greater than symbol. So this would be x would have to be greater than 90. And then in number 4, it says the greatest weight I can lift is 60 pounds. So write an inequality that shows how much weight I can lift. So we don't really have a key word that we can use, but it says that the greatest weight you can lift is 60. So if that's the greatest or the largest, you know you can lift less than that, but you cannot lift more than that. So if there's no more than 60 pounds, that's going to be a less than or equal to symbol again, because the most that you can do is 60, but you can also do less than that. The last one, number 5, I can spend no more than $20 at the movie. So no more than, again, that's our less than or equal to. So x would have to be less than or equal to 20. Okay, so those are, again, just getting familiar with some of those keywords, understanding what they mean and how to utilize them. So now we're going to look at some verbal sentences where we are going to not only translate, but then we're going to go ahead and solve the inequality as well. So this is just like when we were translating with equations. So 5 times a number means 5x is at least is a greater than or equal to sign from our keywords above, 45. So to solve this inequality, you divide both sides by 5, and we get x is greater than or equal to 9. You don't have to graph here because I don't give you a number line to do so. Then number 2, it says a number divided by -3. So a number x divided by -3 is less than 6. Okay, so what we're going to do here to solve is multiply both sides by -3. So x would be less than, oh, no, it would not. That's my apologies. Since we multiplied both sides by a negative, it's actually going to turn to a greater than sign. And 6 times -3 is -18. Number 3, 7 times a number is greater than negative 35. 7 times a number, 7x, is greater than negative 35. We're going to divide both sides by positive 7, so nothing changes with our sign. So x is greater than negative 5. And then the last one, it says a number divided by 2, so x divided by 2, is no more than, so less than or equal to, that's one of our key words again, negative 5. So to solve this, multiply both sides by positive 2, so since the positive, nothing changes with my sign, stays less than or equal to, negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Okay? Then coming down here, we're going to start looking at solving some multi-step inequalities. And at any point, guys, if you feel like, wait a second, I didn't understand that one. The nice thing with this video is you can pause, you can go back, you can re-listen to it. And when I'm back in school, you can ask me any questions that you guys have. Okay? So looking at these ones, we are going to be solving these inequalities. So it's no different, like I said, than equations. We solve it just like we would an equation. So in number 1, first thing we are going to do is add 6 to both sides. So x over negative 4 is greater than or equal to 1. Then from there, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 4. When you multiply by a negative, you have to flip the sign. That's what I taught you guys, right? So then x now becomes less than or equal to negative 4. And that is our final answer. In number 2, first thing I'm going to do is subtract 1 from both sides. So 4x is greater than 0. So 4x is greater than 0. To get x alone, I divide both sides by 4. And I'm left with x is greater than 0 divided by anything is still just 0. So x is greater than 0 is my final answer. Then we have number 3. First thing I'm going to do here is add 3 to both sides. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 is greater than or equal to 5x. To get x by itself, I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 5. That is going to give me 2 is greater than or equal to x, but if you remember, we don't like having x on the right. We want the variable on the left. So I'm going to flip everything, and this becomes x is less than or equal to 2. Let's look over here then at number 4. Now we have variables on both sides. We follow the same rules as equations by moving the smaller of the two variables to the other side. So I'm going to subtract y from both sides. Now I have 4y plus 2 is less than or equal to 34. Subtract 2 from both sides. 4y is less than or equal to 32. Divide both sides by 4, and y is less than or equal to 8. Okay, and then number 5. In this one, we not only have variables on both sides, but we also have to distribute first. So we're going to distribute that 4. So we're going to have 20 minus 12y is greater than 4y plus 4. Move the smaller of the two variables, so I'm going to add 12y to both sides. So 20 is greater than 16y plus 4. I want to then subtract 4 from both sides, and I'm left with 16 is greater than 16y. Divide both sides by 16, and I get 1 is greater than y. But remember, we don't like the variable on the right. So I'm going to flip it, so y is now less than 1. Okay, so again, the steps should be very straightforward because you know how to solve equations. If you know how to solve equations, you know how to solve inequalities. We just need to be careful with the signs sometimes. So there are 4 you try problems here that I want you guys to try. So I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try those 4 problems. Then when you come back to play the video again, you're going to see my work there and you're going to compare it against yours. So you guys can go ahead and check your answers against mine. Again, pause at any time. That way you can take the time to check them. So we are not going to do another day of notes. We're just going to stop here, and then I'm going to have you guys work on the homework worksheet for the rest of class. Again, as a reminder, you can go back and watch this video a second time. You can pause it, you can rewind, you can do whatever you need to in order to kind of start to make a little more sense out of everything. But just make sure that you are filling out the notes, that you are completing the homework, and then hopefully, depending on how I'm feeling, I will see you guys on Monday or Tuesday. We will kind of see how it goes, but I will keep you updated either way. Okay, and again, if you have any questions, you guys know you can always send me an email, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. But just try your best, help each other out, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everyone.